Hello dear students, today I will discuss part 2 of Unit 5 Surface Chemistry. As I told you in part 1st, the some basic point about surface chemistry, that is about adsorption, the surface phenomenon, absorption, it is a bulk phenomenon, difference between adsorption and absorption, some basic point, that is sorption, desorption, adsorbate and adsorbent. And also I told you about the factor on which the adsorption process depend. These factors are basically surface area, temperature, pressure, nature of adsorbate and adsorbent. So now dear students, after studying the part 2, you will be able to explain adsorption results on the basis of Freundlich adsorption isotherm. Here isotherm means same, therm means temperature. At same temperature, that is the graph plotted at constant temperature, it belongs to isotherm. Then you will be able to know about application of adsorption. That means this process are used in which field, this you also have to know. Then catalysis, this is basically two types, homogeneous catalysis and heterogeneous catalysis. In homogeneous catalysis, you have to know about that the reactant and the catalyst are in the same phase, that is either in gas phase, either in liquid phase or solid phase. But in heterogeneous catalysis, you have to know that the reactants and catalyst are in different phase. That is, if the reactant are in the gas phase, the catalyst are either in liquid phase or solid phase, but not in gas phase. Then you will be able to know that adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis. Then dear students, we will explain about activity, selectivity and shape of selective catalysis. This I also told you some points about the activity and selectivity in the part 1 of Unit 5. Let us start adsorption isotherm. So the variation in the amount of gas adsorbed, that is x by m, by the adsorbent with a pressure at constant temperature can be expressed by means of a curve termed as adsorption isotherm, or you can also define this a plot of x by m versus pressure at constant temperature is known as adsorption isotherm. Are you getting this? Here isotherm means the graph plotted at constant temperature. About isotherm, isobar, this I also told you in class 11th, Unit 5, gas state. Now dear students, here you have to know about the adsorption isotherm which are given by Freundlich, and that's why this isotherm is known as Freundlich adsorption isotherm. Basically, this isotherm belongs to the physical adsorption. So this you have to know for board examinations what is Freundlich adsorption isotherm, which formula are given by him, how we can plot a graph related to this formula. So now let us focus on Freundlich-Adjorption isotherm. It is a graph which show relationship between the quantity of a gas adsorbed by unit mass of solid adsorbent, that is x by m, and pressure at a particular temperature. He given a formula, that is x by m equal to k dot p power 1 by n. Here n is more than 1. Now dear students, after taking the logarithm, now this formula converted like this: log x by m equal to log k plus 1 by n. This is the power come in front, log p. So after taking the log, this formula convert like this. So these two formula you have to learn, and also you have to know how we plot the graph related to these formula. Now dear students, one graph is plotted: x by m versus pressure at constant temperature. So look the graph properly. Here three graphs are given at different temperature, at 195, at 244 and 273. So look the temperature. So more the temperature, less will be the value of x by m. So that indicate that if physical adsorption decreases with increase in temperature, after some time the graph reach to saturation pressure. That means after some time, when all the unbalanced force are balanced, in that condition, however increase the pressure, there is no effect on the physical adsorption. So this graph is very important for examination point of view also. Again focus here, x by m versus p. The graph is plotted at three different temperature. So more the temperature, less will be the value of x by m. That indicate that at more temperature the adsorption is decreases. Now your right hand side, a graph is plotted by taking the logarithm of Freundlich-Adjorption theorem. So this graph indicate that log x by m versus p when you plot a graph. So this graph do not pass to the origin, having the slope 1 by n and intercept log k. If you equate this graph from straight line equation y equal to mx plus c, there y is log x by m, x is log p, m is slope 1 by n, and c is intercept, that is log k. So like this you can plot the graph of Freundlich-Adjorption isotherm. Now dear students, some notable points about the Freundlich-Adjorption isotherm. Here the factor 1 by n can have value between 0 and 1. Their probable range is 0.1 to 0.5. Now this graph indicate three type of pressure. That is, for high pressure, x by m directly proportional to p की power 0. That is, when 1 by n equal to 0, the x by m equal to constant, that is independent of pressure. So however you pressure apply, there is no adsorption take place. That pressure is known as saturation pressure. Now dear students, for low pressure, look the graph properly. X by m directly proportional to P. When 1 by n equal to 1, in that condition, the value of x by m equal to Kp. That indicate more the pressure, more will be the absorption. That is, at low pressure, the value of x by m, that is extent of absorption, is directly proportional to pressure. Then for intermediate pressure, the x by m directly proportional to P की power 1 by n, or you can write like this, x by m equal to K P की power 1 by n. So that means the Freundlich adsorption theorem indicate three type of pressure. In the graph, at high pressure, the x by m independent of pressure. At low pressure, it is directly proportional to pressure, but at intermediate pressure, this is directly proportional to P की power 1 by n. Now dear students, some more point you have to know. Here the x is the weight of gas adsorbed by m gram of adsorbent, that is x is adsorbed and m is adsorbent at a pressure P. Here P denote the pressure. Thus x by m represent the amount of gas adsorbed by adsorbent per gram, that is unit mass, and K and N are the constant at a particular temperature and for a particular adsorbent and adsorbate. The N is always greater than 1. This indicates the amount of gas adsorbed does not increase as rapidly as pressure. So that means at intermediate pressure, the amount of gas does not adsorb as pressure increases. So this is very important for examination point of view. Maybe some question may be asked in the board examinations. What is the value of Freundlich adsorption at low pressure, or at intermediate pressure, or at high pressure? Now dear students, similarly you can plot also graph if the adsorption from solution phase are taken. Only the replacement in the Freundlich adsorption theorem is, here you have to write the concentration term in place of pressure term. In that condition, the formula is x by m equal to K C की power 1 by n. So now you can describe this like that. Adsorption from solution phase. Freundlich equation approximately describe the behavior of adsorption from solution with a difference that instead of pressure, concentration of solution taken into account, and that's why we can write the Freundlich adsorption theorem like this: x by m equal to K C 1 by n. Here again, x is the mass of adsorbate, m is the mass of adsorbent, K and N are constant at a particular temperature, and C is the equilibrium concentration. Now again, when adsorption is completed, on taking the logarithm of the above equation, we have one new formula in the term of log. The log x by m equal to log K plus 1 by n log C. Now dear students, plot a graph by yourself between the log x by m versus log C. In that condition, you will see that the graph is similarly to the graph of log x by m equal to log K plus 1 by N log P. Here again the log K is intercept and 1 by N are slope. So this you have to plot in your classwork copy by yourself. Now dear students, we have to focus about the application of adsorption. That means where the role of adsorption take place in the either daily life or in the industrial process. So now first, for the production of high vacuum. So dear students, under very high vacuum, basically of order 10 की power minus 8 to 10 की power minus 9 Pascal pressure, it is possible to obtain ultra clean surface of the metal. That means whatever the gas adsorb on the surface, now all the gases are removed. In that condition, when you apply the pressure 10 की power minus 8 to 10 की power minus 9 for production of vacuum. So for production of vacuum, the remaining trace of air can be adsorbed by charcoal from a vessel evacuated by a vacuum pump to give a very high vacuum. So this is also application of adsorption, where charcoal adsorb the air creating the vacuum. Second application in gas mask. Now this time also we are facing the COVID-19 and our government says that you have to apply the gas mask, you have to apply the mask, but well, the difference is here, you have to apply the mask to avoid for the virus. But in general condition, we use gas mask. It is basically a device which consists of activated charcoal or mixture of adsorbent, which is usually used for the breathing in a coal mines to adsorb poisonous gas such as CO, oxides of sulfur, these gases. So that's why the gas mask is also work on the basis of adsorption. Then dear students, one more application, controlling humidity. Humidity means moisture. So you know that I have told you also that silica gel are used for as adsorbent for adsorbing the water molecules from air. So this is also an example of adsorption is silica gel, and also you can take alumina gel, that is Al2O3. These are used for controlling humidity by adsorbing the water molecules on their surface. That's why adsorption is known as surface phenomenon. Now dear students, fourth application, the removal of coloring matter from the solution. So just like animal charcoal, I have told you about the charcoal. The charcoal is the form of carbon that is obtained by limited supply of air. So the animal charcoal remove colors from the solution. This is also by the process of adsorption. That means if you added charcoal powder in the ink, after some time the color of ink diminishes. That indicate the color particles in the ink solution are adsorbed by the carbon, that is charcoal. Now dear students, fifth application, are you getting this or not? Fifth application, it is used in heterogeneous catalysis. Here one common examples, that is Haber process, are came so many times in the chemistry chapters. What happens basically here, when N2 gas react with 3H2 gas, these are passed to the iron catalyst. They will produce ammonia gas. So this is example of heterogeneous catalysis. So this is also based on the process of adsorption. The adsorption of reactant on the solid surface of the catalyst increases the rate of reaction. Now, dear students, point number 6, that is application number 6, in separation of inert gas. So you know that about the inert gas: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. These are the inert gas. Why they are called inert gas? Because they have complete octet. So these inert gas also can be separated by the process of adsorption. That is, due to difference in the degree of adsorption of gas by charcoal, a mixture of noble gas can be separated by adsorption on the coconut charcoal at different temperature. So that's why adsorption process is also used to separate the inert gases. Now, then one more application in the chromatographic analysis. Chromatography, I also told you, here two phases are there. One phase is mobile phase and one phase is stationary phase. Stationary phase work as adsorbent and mobile phase work as adsorbate. So this chromatographic analysis is also based on the adsorption and find a number of applications in the analytical and industrial field. This chromatographic application are used when the boiling point difference is very less. In that condition, we can use the chromatographic analysis. Then, dear students, in curing disease, this is also very important topics, which also based on process of adsorption. As we know that we are taking so many medicines for different type of diseases. So disease are basically due to germs, that may be bacteria, fungus. So in that condition, a number of drugs are used to kill germs by getting adsorb on them. So that's why the adsorption is also applied in curing disease. Then, dear students, one more important process which are taking place with the help of adsorption, that is froth flotation process. This process you also seen in your houses when cream are separated from the milk by churning. So this process here we used to separate low grade sulfide ore and is concentrated by separating it from silica and other earthy matter. Earthy matter means it may be contains impurity by this method, and also using pine oils and frothing agent. So about the froth flotation process you will study in chapter 6, metallurgy. So these are the basic application of adsorption. This you have to know, and also you have to make a notes whatever I told you about these applications. Now, dear students, again a very important topics, that is catalysis. Are you getting this or not? So now about the catalysis, substance which alter the rate of chemical reaction. Here alter means change, and themselves remain chemically and quantitatively unchanged after the reaction are known as catalyst. Are you getting this? That means catalyst never used up in the chemical reaction. They only provide the alternative pathway to carry out the chemical reaction. And the phenomenon is known as catalysis. So again, define this: substance which alter, that is change, the rate of chemical reaction and themselves remain chemically and quantitatively unchanged after the reaction are known as catalyst, and the phenomenon, that is process, is known as catalysis. So this is the definition of catalysis. Now catalysis can be broadly divided into two groups, that is homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis. About this I have told you in this lecture and also in previous lecture. Now let us focus in detail about the homogeneous catalysis or homogeneous catalyst. Again, the catalysis is the process. So the catalytic process in which, listen properly, the catalytic process in which the reactants and catalyst, before the arrow the molecules are written, are known as reactant, and after the arrow it is known as product. So you have to look only about the reactant. So the reactants and the catalyst are in the same phase is known as homogeneous catalysis. Listen again, the catalytic process in which the reactant and the catalyst are in the same phase is known as homogeneous catalysis. Now here two examples are given. Examples are much more, but here two examples are taken. This is sufficient to understand about the homogeneous catalyst or homogeneous catalysis. 2SO2 in the form of gas when reacted with O2 in the form of gas in the presence of NO, that is nitric oxide. This is also in the form of gas. This will lead to the formation of 2SO3. So here you have to look only the reactant and catalyst. Here the reactant is SO2 plus O2 and the catalyst is NO. Both are in the gas form. That's why they belong to the homogeneous catalysis. SO2 when react with O2 produce 2SO3. This is basically a lead chamber process for formation of sulfuric acid. Now second example, CS3, COO, CS3. This is basically methyl acetate in the form of liquid when reacted with water in the form of liquid. Again think about this. This is a hydrolysis of ester, and this also came in the unit 4 in the term pseudo first order reaction. But now here we only have to know about that reactants and catalysts should be in same phase. So again, ester plus water in liquid phase and HCl, that is work as catalyst, also in liquid phase. So that's why this is also example of homogeneous catalyst, that is both the reactants and catalyst are in the same phase. Some more examples you can recall: hydrolysis of sugar in presence of H plus ion, also an example of homogeneous catalysis. Are you getting this? Again repeat this. Homogeneous catalyst means the reactants and catalyst are in the same phase. That means it may be gas, it may be liquid, or it may be solid. So that indicate about the homogeneous catalyst. Now dear students, we have to focus about the heterogeneous catalyst. As the name indicate, hetero means different. So here the catalytic process in which the reactant and the catalyst are in different phases is known as heterogeneous catalysis. Now some examples are given here. Again one example is given, 2SO2 plus O2 and Pt as a catalyst. Here reactant are in gas phase but catalysts are in the solid phase. So that's why the reactant is in gaseous state but the catalyst is in the solid state. This is basically contact process for formation of sulfuric acid. So this indicates that about the heterogeneous catalyst. One more common examples that is known as Haber process, N2 plus 3H2. These reactants are in the gas form but the catalyst iron belong to the solid form. That's why these are also example of heterogeneous catalyst. So again listen, in case of heterogeneous catalysis, reactants and solids and catalyst are in different phase. That means if the reactant in the form of gas, so the catalyst should be either solid form or liquid form but not in gas form. So this is the basic difference between the homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis. One more example you can think about heterogeneous catalysis. One to hydrogenation of vegetable oil in the presence of nickel, and one more example, the Ostwald process for formation of nitric acid. So these are also example of heterogeneous catalysis. Now some basic point related to catalyst we have to know that. So here 2 points are given, promoters and poisons. Now as the name indicate, promoter means promote the catalyst and poison means they inhibit the activity of catalyst. So promoter are the substance that enhance the activity of catalyst while poison decrease the activity of catalyst. So like that you can define the promoters and poisons. Here I have taken one example to explain about the promoters and poison. So again recall the Haber process, N2 in gas form plus 3H2 in gas form are taken. Here the iron is catalyst but MO is promoter of the catalyst, that is MO is promoter of iron catalyst. But CO in this reaction, that is carbon monoxide, work as poison that decrease the formation of ammonia gas. So those chemical which enhance the rate of chemical reaction to promote the catalyst are known as promoter, but those inhibit the rate of reaction by decreasing the activity of catalyst is known as poison. Now dear students, after learning these points, now we have to focus about the characteristics of catalyst, that means the property of catalyst. So first point, as you know that I have told you also, the catalyst remain unchanged in the mass and chemical composition. So the first property of catalyst is the catalyst are not changed in the chemical reaction, they only provide the alternative pathway. Second, in case of reversible reaction, that is reaction either go backward side or forward side, the catalyst does not influence the composition of reaction mixture at equilibrium. That means whatever the product or reactant are taken, they never change the reactant and product, they only enhance, that means they only help to attain the equilibrium quickly, that is fastly. That means the catalyst only help to attain the equilibrium faster but not change the equilibrium mixture. That means they never affect the equilibrium constant value, but by the catalyst you can got the equilibrium constant value fastly. The third point of catalyst, which denote the property of catalyst, the catalyst cannot initiate the reaction That means if the value of delta G is positive, that means it never, that means if the delta G value is positive, it never change the value of delta G from positive to negative. So that's why they never initiate the chemical reactions. Just like in classroom, you can think about that. A teacher taught all the students, but some students got 100% marks and some are failed. So this is the basically the fault of that students, not a teacher, because teacher just work as a catalyst. They only enhance or speed up of your reactions. But if you are not focusing on the things, so no reactions can be carried out. Now, the fourth point, the catalyst is generally specific in nature. That I also told you. If one catalyst do not catalyze all the reaction, that means a common examples you can take in about the salivary amylase. The enzymes in the mouth only convert starch into maltose, but not break proteins or maltose to the glucose. So that means every catalyst is specific for a particular reaction. So these are the basic property of catalyst. So again learn about this. The teacher work as only catalyst. If you want to do your reactions, that means complete your things, so teacher will help you. That means it will catalyze your rate of reaction but not initiate your study. So this you have to focus by yourself. You have to make your target by yourself, but teacher only can help you to motivate you, to catalyze you. They will provide a alternative pathway so that by this pathway you can attain your equilibrium, either you can attain your success. So these are the basic points about the catalyst. Now dear students, how the heterogeneous catalyst work? For this we have to know about the adjacent theory of heterogeneous catalysis. So this theory explains the mechanism of heterogeneous catalyst. The mechanism involve the 5 step. Look the diagram properly and whatever I told you, listen it properly. So first of all, about the mechanism, the first step is diffusion of reactant to the surface of catalyst. Here the reactant species is A plus B and the catalyst surface having free valency are seen here. So first of all, diffusion of reactant to the surface of the catalyst. Diffusion means you know that from their higher concentration to lower concentration movement of molecules. The AB are moved to the catalyst surface. So first of all, again diffusion of reactant to the surface of catalyst. Second, adsorption of reactant molecules on the surface of catalyst. So second thing happened that now AB molecules are adsorbed on the surface of catalyst. This will seen in the diagram. Now third step, a chemical reactions on the catalyst surface through the formation of an intermediate occurs. So to look here, AB now joined by a line that will show that they form a complex. That is now chemical reactions are taking place. Now fourth point, desorption of reaction product from the catalyst surface. Now after combining A plus B, that means AB is the product, they are diffused, that is desorbed from the catalyst surface. And lastly, diffusion of reaction product away from the catalyst surface. Now lastly what happened? The product are moved forward, that means away from the catalyst surface. So these 5 steps are taking place in the mechanism of adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis. So maybe the diagram is given and diagram is written like ABCD and say that in the board examination arrange the diagram according to the step wise. So first step diffusion, second step adsorption, third step chemical reaction, fourth step desorption, and last step diffusion of the reaction product away from the catalyst surface. So according to this you have to arrange the diagram. Are you getting this? Now dear students, some more important features of solid catalyst, that is the activity. Here as the name indicate activity. So the activity of catalyst depend upon the strength of chemisorption, that means formation of chemical bond. Now catalytic activity increases from group 5 to group 11 metal, with the maximum activity being shown by group 7 to group 9 elements of the periodic table. So now go through the periodic tables, and this table are divided into 18 groups from group 1 to group 18. So now group 1 and group 2 belong to the S block, and group 3 to the group 12 belong to the D block, and group 13 to the group 18 belong to the P block. And then below the table 2 columns are there. These indicate the F block elements, that is basically lanthanoids and actinoids. So here we are talking about the D block elements from group 3 to group 12. In that group, the group 5 to group 11 show maximum activity, and out of them the maximum activity are shown by the group 7 to group 8 elements. So now think about the group 3 elements. The group 3 elements belong to the scandium, then group 4 titanium, then group 5 basically vanadium, group 6 is chromium, group 7 is manganese, group 8 iron, group 9 cobalt, group 10 nickel, group 11 copper, and group 12 that is zinc. So that means the more activity belong to the 7 to 9. That means again listen, group 3rd scandium, group 4 titanium, group 5 vanadium, group 6 chromium, group 7 manganese, group 8 iron, group 9 cobalt, group 10 nickel, group 11 copper, and group 12 zinc. So here basically the manganese, then iron, then cobalt, these show the maximum activity in the table. One examples are here to explain better about the activity. Now think about that, when H2 plus O2 are left alone in the room temperature, the reaction takes so many times to complete the reaction. But when we added a platinum as a catalyst, now the reaction speed up 10 की power 10 times, that may be explosive. That is, when H2 and O2 reacted in presence of platinum, now the formation of water increases up to 10 की power 10 times, which are explosive. So that's so the activity of catalyst. Now about the selectivity of catalyst. Now the name indicates selective. That means a particular catalyst select one type of reaction. That means by one catalyst you cannot carry all of the reactions. So let us explain this. The selectivity of a catalyst is its ability to direct a reaction to yield a particular product. That is, a given substance can act as a catalyst only in a particular reaction, but that is not for all the reaction. Here 3 examples are taken to explain about the selectivity of catalyst. So first example, CO plus 3H2. Again recall about this. CO plus H2 is known as water gas or synthetic gas. This also came in 11th class unit 9 hydrogen. So again here CO plus H2 when combined in presence of nickel, so the product is methane and water. But when CO plus 2H2 are combined in presence of a catalyst copper, zinc oxide, chromium oxide, the product is methyl alcohol. And when the CO plus H2 gas is passed through the copper catalyst, the product is formaldehyde. So these reactions show the selectivity of a catalyst. Again here, a particular catalyst have ability to direct a particular reaction, but not all the reaction. That is indicate the selectivity of a catalyst. So this type of question may be arises. Here two reactions are given here. The three reactions may be given here, and say that if which type of property of catalyst denoted by these reaction. So here your answer is selectivity. Now dear students, one more important catalysis, that is safe selective catalysis. About this catalyst, in 2020 board examination, one question is asked. You define the safe selective catalysis by giving one example. So now, as the name indicates, safe selective, that means these catalysts are basically selected by the shape. So now listen about this. The catalytic reaction that depend upon the pore structure of catalyst and the size of reactant and product molecules is called safe selective catalysis. So dear students, again listen. The catalytic reaction depend upon the pore structure. Pore means hole of the catalyst and the size of reactant and product molecules is called safe selective catalysis. Basically, the pore size in a common example zeolites varies from 260 to 740 picometer. Here one common examples, only you have to write about this. Zeolites are good safe selective catalysis. Basically, again listen, in zeolite the pore structure varies from 260 to 260 to 740 picometer. Now one examples which are given here, zeolites can be explained like this. Zeolites are being widely used as a catalyst in petrochemical industry for cracking means breaking of hydrocarbons and isomerization, that is formation of isomers. The important zeolites catalyst used in the petrochemical industry is ZSM5. The full form of ZSM is zeolite sieve of SiEb of molecular porosity 5. So ZSM is an example of catalysts which are used in petroleum industry for converting methanol into gasoline. So these are basically the some important topics about catalyst. These all topics are very important for examination point of view. That means for the academic point of view and also for the competition point of view. So now dear students, I have given some solved questions, some solved examples to understand the above topic. So question number 1, give the expression of Freundlich-Edwardsson isotherm. So for this question you have to only write the formula of Freundlich-Edwardsson isotherm, that is x by m equal to k dot p की power 1 by n. Again listen here, x is mass of adsorbate, m is mass of adsorbent, k is constant, p is pressure, n is also constant. Here k and n are depend upon the temperature, that is at a particular temperature k and n are constant. Now again, what do x and m represent in the given expression, that is x by m equal to k dot p की power 1 by n. So this I also told you, m is the mass of adsorbent and x is the mass of number of moles of adsorbent when the dynamic equilibrium has been achieved between the free gas and the adsorbed gas. This also can you write, or also you can write x is the mass of adsorbate. Now the third question, why do Freundlich isotherm fail at high pressure? So this I also told you that at high pressure the power 1 by n should be equal to 0. In that condition x by m do not depend upon the pressure. So now the answer like this you have to write in the board examination. According to the Freundlich-Adjorption isotherm, x by m equal to k dot p की power 1 by n, but at high pressure x by m found to be independent of pressure, because in this condition isotherm always seems to approach saturation, and this pressure is known as saturation pressure. That means you can also write like this: 1 by n equal to 0. In that condition the x by m directly proportional to p की power 0. That means the power 0 means the value 1. So that means the x by m is independent of pressure. Now the question number 4. Why is heterogeneous catalysis also known as surface catalysis? So as the reactions you know that occurs at the surface, so by this way you can write the heterogeneous catalysis is also known as surface catalysis. So now your answer is, in the heterogeneous catalysis the reaction always start at the surface of the catalyst, so it is also known as surface catalysis. Are you getting this question or not? So dear students, don't waste the time. Use every second of time and make a proper targets for board examinations. Now dear students, explain the safe selective catalysis and give one examples. This question asked in the CBSE board examination 2020. So your answer is like this: the reactions which depend upon the size and shape of reactant and product molecules as well as upon the pore and cavities of catalyst are called safe selective catalysis. Here the common example is zeolite or the safe selective catalysis. So like this you have to write the answer in the board examinations according to marking scheme. Either the question may be 1 marks, 2 marks or 3 marks. Now question number 6. Discuss important features of solid catalyst. So there are two important features of solid catalyst. This I also told you: activity and selectivity. The activity means the ability of catalyst to accelerate chemical reaction, that means to enhance the rate of chemical reaction. And selectivity means selectivity is the ability of a catalyst to direct a reaction to yield a particular product. The action of catalyst is highly specific or selective in nature. That means one catalyst only catalyze a particular reaction, not all the reaction. Now question number 7. Give reason for the following. The catalyst increases the reaction velocity, that means rate of reaction. Second question, transitional elements are good catalysts. So these are very much important questions for the examination point of view. The question number 1. A catalyst reduces the time taken in the establishment of equilibrium and hence increases the rate of reaction. This I also told you in the characteristics of catalyst. They enhance the rate of reaction and establishment equilibrium occurs fastly. Second, transition elements have large number of unpaired electrons, so chemical adsorption occurs readily, hence they are good catalyst. This I also told you in the mechanism of adsorption, how the unbalanced force are increased. They may be increased due to presence of unpaired electrons also. So more the unpaired electrons, more will be the adsorption power. Now one question is given for self-assessment test. These question also write in your copy, and after listening the PPT videos you can do by yourself without taking the help of any book. This is a simple question you can do by yourself. Name the adsorption isotherm given in the figure. You have to write the name according to the figure. Then question number 2, give its mathematical expression. How we can write in the mathematical form, that is formula form. Then what is the slope equal to? Slope equal to you have to write also. Then what is the intercept equal to? Then value of, what is the value of n here? And lastly you have to write that how does x by m varies with P at high pressure, and also you can write at low pressure, and also you can write at intermediate pressure. So now dear students, do all work in classwork copy, prepare a note with the help of PPT video and also by yourself with the help of PPT videos and NCERT book. Stay safe, stay healthy and keep learning. Thank you dear students.